Lucky Boys Podcast.
Brian Orwell, like War of the Worlds. Back in the 60s, he read a book. Orson Welles, yeah. He read the book War of the Worlds, and before TV was popular, radio was a big thing, right? So people would get together and listen to the radio, and the ratings were through the roof because that's what everyone listened to. They sat around home. That's what they did. They sat around listening to it, and at the very beginning, he goes, "I'm going to read a book, War of the Worlds, blah blah blah. This is CBS, whatever it is, right?" And then he went on to read it. But some people that didn't tune in at 7 o'clock, let's just say it started at 6 p.m., whatever. Some people tuned in at like 6:15 and all they hear is this guy's voice who sounds like a freaking newscaster. And there's aliens coming down right now. There's missiles blasting. There's cars up. So people thought that it was an alien invasion. They started fucking going nuts. Cars were flipped over, rioting, looting supermarkets. Like shit was fucked up. And
panic mode.
Total panic mode. So I could understand why governments want to suppress whatever information because people are fucking crazy. Like once we go into survival mode, we're all thinking, oh shit, me, I have to survive. My family needs to survive. We all start thinking about ourselves. We don't care who we run over, who we shoot, who we kill. It's full survival, man. It's every man for themselves. And when you hear something like, oh, the tentacles are picking up humans and it looks like they're using the blood as fuel, it's just like, what the fuck? Everyone's going crazy. And at that time, there wasn't Google. Like, it sounds crazy to us hearing something like that. But at that time, people just didn't have as much information. So when they heard something on the radio, they took it as gospel, right? So without that debriefing, they didn't get that prerequisite information where they go, hey, this is not real. This is a fiction book we're about to read. People thought this shit was real and they started hurting each other. Cars were on fire. I mean, crazy. So that was like, if you want to look at it from that standpoint, if I'm a government agency, I'm looking at it like, we can't let people know. I would agree with that wholeheartedly. We got to protect these people from themselves. We can't give them all this information. We have to fight. And I bet you, I have no doubt that they're doing this where they're fighting a lot of these fights without, they're doing some Jack Bauer shit we never even heard about,
Yeah. Clandestine operations.
Absolutely.
They do it all the time.
Yeah, there's a lot of things we don't know about, and I think it's for our own good. Because imagine if everything gets exposed 24/7 where we're that transparent. People be shitting themselves. They just won't be able to, they'll be in complete panic 24/7.
I can imagine a lot of people would quit their jobs and, the society was shut down.
Absolutely. Economic markets, every single time a news come up, people start pulling the money out from the stock market. I mean, banks. I mean, oh my gosh, yeah, society will stop moving, man. People will start looting. I mean, it'll just be complete and utter chaos.
Yeah.
So we have to, we have to put on the best face. I think so. We won't be able to handle that information.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think? Would you want a world where it was that transparent? Do you think us as a species can handle it? Do you disagree with that type of method? If that is in fact what's going on? If you were in charge, would you say let's let every single one of our citizens know exactly what is going on here? Full transparency, declassify everything.
No, I think human nature, you can't trust it. I mean, it's so unpredictable that people react differently to different situations. But I do agree, like certain things that the government does hide that the public should know about.
Well, I think that the truth should be out there. I mean, there might be initial chaos, but eventually some form of order will be restored. It might not be the order that we currently recognize, but something will evolve out of it, and it'll just be a new way of living.
At what cost, though? How many lives would be taken?
I would argue, who cares?
Really? So you would say the truth is worth the cost, no matter if it's expensive or.
Sure, because how else are we going to always live in a box?
Interesting. So you would accept like a whole new world order,
What's so great about the one that we live in? What's so irreplaceable about it?
Well, I have a lot of reasons what's like so great that we live in right now. You know, we have the freedom. We have.
But who says that won't be on the other end of
We'll be in the rebuilding phase. You know, we have a freedom. So many people paved the way for us. It's not a perfect system, man. It's not a perfect system, but it's the one we got, and it's the devil we know, right? And we're not in the beginning phases of it. We're in a very mature market, and we're at we're not Singapore, but we're pretty up there. I mean, yeah, I know we're behind on healthcare and whatnot, but I mean, to start a whole new civilization, I think it'll just set us back like at the very beginning.
Sure, and I agree. Yeah, in the beginning.
I don't want to be that civilization living through that. Maybe like our great grandkids will appreciate that.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Right, the future.
Right.
Right. Yeah, our generation, whichever generation,
It's gonna suffer.
it's going to
Big time.
suffer.
Yeah.
But the end result, if it's a better society, isn't that worth it?
No, not for me now. I don't want my kids.
That's
I don't want my kids suffering.
generations down.
And look,
And that's why the information is repressed.
the first half of my life, I suffered so damn much. You know what I mean? Like that. I'm not down to replay that. I'm not trying to revisit war and no, man.
So short-term discomfort for long-term gain. That this goes back to early retirement.
But this goes to. What do you mean? You wouldn't even enjoy your retirement?
No, and I don't mind that.
Right.
Again, it's short-term discomfort for long-term gain. If we
But-
wind up
but
with
you
a
wouldn't
better
gain
society,
anything. As humans, we
me
would gain.
personally, I would not.
So you're willing to sacrifice yourself?
Sure.
Wow, you're on some like ant shit then. Like you're sacrificed for the colony.
I just think we overvalue our own personal lives and don't think about the future. That's what. That's why the environment is the
I
way it
agree with
is.
that. I agree. We could blame that on the boomers. You're a boomer.